What up, tubers? Bunny here, and this week we're back in Geo Flight Simulator. So this video is going to be a Christmas special. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, given the snow that you see here on the ground, you would think that I would be somewhere way up north, right? Well, what if I told you by opening up the nav map that I am actually in Israel right now? And yes, it's kind of a Christmas tradition for me to go flying near Bethlehem during the Christmas season. Oh yes, I just got back from a little time traveling journey back to the very first Christmas. But when I got to the stable, that was when I remembered that last year I had sent a time traveling present over to this time and place. I don't know what I'm saying. Let's just drop the package. However, it was too late for me to die. Happy birthday, my lord! So anyway, back to the now, literally. Yeah, I am in Israel. And over here is Egypt, and Saudi Arabia, and Jordan. Who's Jordan? So I am in territory whose safety is questionable. And still, I am in a FedEx plane with a buttload of toys over to London, all the way from China, and this is one of my stops. Why China, you ask? Because that's basically where every toy is made. Well, not every toy, but you know what? That's a whole different discussion for a whole different time. You know what? I've been sitting here on the end of the runway far too long for my desire. I'm going to release the brake, punch the slammers, and let's get the heck out of here. So why am I delivering all of these toys inside this airplane? Well, do you think that Santa is able to fit every single present on his sleigh? There's the catch there. He can fit many a present in his sleigh, but still there are limits to what he can fit in. So his worldwide journey is going to need to take some stops along the way so that he can restock his sleigh. And I, the imaginative Astro Bunny, help out with those restock stops. You know what? I'm going to turn off the nav map. I think by now you get the idea that I am in Israel. And I should be flying toward the Dead Sea, but I cannot see a thing. Actually, I can see a thing. Well, actually, visibility of the ground is extremely poor because all this snow has got the ground, the whole surface of the earth, basically pure white. It's basically a bright white marble in outer space, slowly rotating its way to an eventual doom and apocalypse. So right now I am just flying over to the Dead Sea so that I can see what the lowest point on Earth looks like during the winter months. Actually, it probably doesn't look like this during the winter months, but hey, when you winterize the whole world, like I just did with the environment system thingy, I don't know what you call it, you get to see what tropical areas look like if they're frozen over. So far, Dead Sea looks a little weird that way. How about over that way? Actually, I think I'm going to turn this way. Let's find out what it looks like over that way. You know, it's kind of funny. There's the airport right there. Its ground elevation is some 2,000 feet. And yet, just over this way, you have the Dead Sea, which is the lowest ground level point on Earth. At, like, what is it, a couple hundred, maybe 1,000 or so feet beneath sea level. So yeah, I guess that's what the Dead Sea looks like when frozen over. Oh, let me go into environment. So you see, set to 76, that is the beginning of winter. But if I crank it down 1 notch to 75, as you've noticed, it has just become a desert. Super weird, right? Oh, that's why that portion of the Dead Sea looks so weird. They're using that section. Okay. So again, I set it to winter and freeze. And I cannot see the Dead Sea beneath me. Alright, I'm gonna need to make a hard left. I gotta get myself over to the Mediterranean Sea. I gotta get this thing into Europe. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Okay, it is just after 2 p.m. over here in Athens, Greece. I am coming in on final for a touchdown for a quick little pit stop, but also a bit of a potty break because even us rabbits need to tinkle. That's right, every bunny. It's not just those little brown droppings that come out from our behinds. Let's see, I think I'm getting a bit of a headwind. Yeah, I'm getting a 6 knot headwind. However, it does seem to be a little bit foggy. Not that that prohibits me from seeing the runway, and I'm going to need to pull up. I need to butter the bread, and I can't butter the bread. You know what? Let's just focus. Oh, I don't think that was the most butter landing. But you know what it's gonna have to do. I think the toy should be okay. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, pull into the ramp and get refueled. What is that weird white thing moving across the runway? Ah, whatever. So I'm going to refuel my plane, take a potty break, and then my next step is to fly west along the Mediterranean coast, and there is that white thing again. See you guys in a little bit. Again. So here I am at under 10,000 feet. I am over the Mediterranean Sea and I am on my way to Nice, France. You know, for being the south of France, I was told that the weather over here should be rather nice. But you know what? It is still rather wintry over here and the food's just left. And get this, I think there is a snowstorm going on down at the ground, so I'm gonna need to be careful about that. What am I? I've got a tailwind right now of about 16 knots. And I'm gonna have to rely on this nav map here to navigate me down, at least till I get past these clouds here. You know, I don't think I've ever flown in a snowstorm yet in this flight simulator. If you've seen last episode, you knew that I was flying a biplane in one heck of a tempest.
Haha, no hurricane's gonna stop this bunny now.
But a rainstorm is different than a snowstorm, and I am already at only 4,000 feet. I think I'm gonna need to deploy my landing configuration rather soon. In fact, I'm gonna slowly bring. Oh, I think we're going to the clouds. What? I can't see a thing. Oh no, I can't see a thing. Oh, okay, that was scary. That was scary. I thought I was gonna crash and die there because if I can't see the ground, I'm kind of dead meat because I need to be able to see in this flight simulator if I want a hope of landing safely. So, deploy the gears and I am now in my landing configuration. Actually, it doesn't seem to be snowing right now, and actually I can turn the nav map off because I am now low enough I can actually see the runway now. So what's my wind? 15 knots to the northeast, right? No, no, it's just 15 knots to the north. And hey, I am lined up for a landing here at runway. What number is this? What number is this? Ah, foo is in the way. All right, let's take a look at this. 4 what? What is 4 plus 18? 19, 20. Runway 22 left. Heh, 22. Well, that's a weird thing for me. You know, there might be a tutu packed inside this airplane somewhere. That might be a girl's wish. Maybe they want a tutu. I don't know why you want a tutu. Why are we talking about tutus all of a sudden? That's weird. Okay, I don't expect this landing to be butter because I don't do well with crosswinds, but let's see what happens.
50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 10.
Okay. Okay. Oh, you know what? It actually helps that I wasn't just using 60 knot crosswinds like I would normally use. I stink at landing with 60 knot crosswind. I can land with 60 knot headwinds, maybe a tailwind, but not a crosswind. So yeah, you'd think this would be kind of a tropical place right about now. I mean, that's the Mediterranean Sea right there, and yet I have a feeling that in this particular episode, the whole world is covered in snow. Even where you're living right now, it's covered in snow, wherever you are. Well, it's getting kind of late in the day, so I'm gonna go pull over, have a stop for the night, maybe enjoy a seaside hotel. Wonder how you enjoy such a getaway in the winter. So I'll spend the night, and then my next stop is to go to London. See you guys next day. Whoa, runway just disappeared for a minute. See you guys next day. Good morning, everyone. So it is 8 in the morning. Apparently, up this far north, the sun hasn't risen yet during the winter time. I am now just flying over the north of France, out over the English Channel. So I am on my way to London, and I should be landing within 15 or so minutes, I would think. And so far, weather looks good. Oh, how mean Mother Nature can be! 15 minutes ago, I was about to fly over the English Channel, and everything seemed clear. Nice and clear. What happens 15 minutes later when I get closer to London and closer to landing at Heathrow Airport? What happens? I tell you what happens. Weather comes rolling in. Deep, dark clouds that suggest a mighty winter's tempest. 28 knots crosswinds. This is gonna be the most difficult landing yet. And actually, my most difficult landing since I had last played with the wind so dramatically. I'm already using the nav map to navigate my way to an alignment with one of the runways. What I'm not okay with is the fact that I'm gonna have to charge my plane into some nasty headwinds, which is actually making me go a little bit slower than I think I am going. Actually, it should be flying, but am I aligned yet with the runway? Probably at this point. Yeah, I can level off at this point. What am I facing? Well, I'm facing a little bit west-northwest, but that should be okay. That shouldn't be a problem. Once I get beneath these clouds, then I should be able to see the runway. In fact, is that the runway over there? I think so. Okay, so if this descent is going to be like the one over in Nice, then I'm probably going to experience a moment where I'm not going to be able to see anything whatsoever. Yep, here it comes. Totally called it. But on the bright side, I've got myself a headwind, which should help a little bit upon landing. And I can't see anything. Once I get beneath the clouds, I should be able to determine with my own eyes whether or not I am aligned with the runway. Whoa! Look at the snow! That's not good. I cannot see the runway. It's too early in the morning. And it's too foggy. Is there a plane right there? I'm gonna need to level off. Good grief, I'm gonna need to level off. I think I am descending a little bit too much. Where is that other airplane that the nav map is warning? Oh, Foo, look out! I'm right here. And okay, I think Foo is down on the ground. Is that correct? Foo is gone. Foo is trying to make me nervous. For no good reason. Oh, if Foo's being mean to me, that means Foo is on the naughty list. Hey, Santa! Is that the runway over there? I see the runway. I don't think I need the don't need the nav map at this point. And I think I can turn autopilot off. I'm pretty overconfident with myself. I think I should be able to steer my airplane, not steer, fly my airplane over to the runway there. Oh, another thing that I'm going to be doing is I am going to be escorting Santa through America. Right after I land the MD-11, I'm going to hop into an F-16 fighter jet. I'm going to fly to the other side of the Atlantic, over to somewhere in Newfoundland, Canada. I'll refuel there, and then I'm going to take off again when the time is right, and I will say hello to Santa. However, this snowstorm that I'm flying through is getting me a little nervous, because it so happens to be Christmas Eve, and if this snowstorm doesn't let out, I might not be able to fly over to Newfoundland in time. Might not be able to take off. 30 knot winds. I probably should not be flying in these poor conditions. But you know what? To heck with it. This is Geo Flight Simulator. I flew in much more worse winds than this. I'm going for it. But although I see the runway, should I be descending? I don't know how high up some of these buildings rise. Well, some airplane called BAW-106, they seem to have landed safely at Heathrow, so maybe I will be fine too. Of course, I'm not going to want to descend too quickly because although the speedometer reads that I'm going about 180 knots, I'm really going maybe 150 knots. Actually, now my speed is decreasing because I decided I can throttle down. So I don't know if you're able to see it, but I'm able to make out the runway, which means I am confident enough that I will be able to make a safe landing at this airport. I mean, once I land this airplane, I can pull it into the terminal, presents can be unloaded and made ready for Santa. And during that time, well, actually, right after I park the plane, I don't know if you call it parking, but whatever. But after I park the plane, I can go ahead, get out of it, and I can switch over to my F-16. I can take off and go over to meet Santa. How cool is that? I am way too high up for this landing. You know what? I don't care. Oh, I do care. Oh, okay, let's be gentle now. Let's be soft. Wow. Oh, this isn't gonna be fun. Oh, that was not butter. But I made it. Made it. I landed safely. I can throttle the engine off. I can tuck the flaps in. I will actually apply a little bit of the brakes. De-apply the brakes. Not de-apply. Unapply. I don't know. Tuck the spoilers in. And now I just need to pull my airplane into the terminal and then probably wait for the snowstorm to let up a bit. But then I should be able to go ahead and get in my fighter jets and hopefully escort Santa later tonight. See you guys in a little bit. Okay, it's 12:30. The storm has let up significantly. I am about to take off now in my F-16 Fighting Falcon. All seems to be well with the world. Let's see. We do this. Significantly reduce the throttle. Okay. Why am I deciding to stay elevated only this much? I know why. Because then pull up. Ugh. Oh, that was cool. That was cool. Alright, reignite the afterburner and let us go over the Atlantic. We got a Sleigh to intercept. Alrighty, it's just after 8 o'clock. It is pitch dark outside. I'm at an altitude of 30,000 feet. I don't know if that's the cruising altitude at which Santa flies, but you know what? It's Christmas magic. He's able to survive at whatever altitude. Heck, I even think during his journey he'll fly up to the ISS. But then again, he might have a spacesuit, so you know what? I'm no judge. I'm just south of the Canadian province of Newfoundland and Labrador, and now that I'm looking at the livery of this aircraft, I realize they're going to need to repaint it so that it says Adorable States Air Force, not United States. Let's see, I think I'm rather stable now, so I'll turn autopilot off. I think Santa should appear any second. There he is! Hey, Santa! What? According to the NORAD Santa tracker, it's tradition for pilots to tip their wings like that to greet Santa. Of course, now Santa's way up there, but now I can turn autopilot on to level my aircraft out back at 30,000 feet. And that's actually going to do it for this week's video of Geo Flight Simulator. So in next week's video, I'm going back to KSP for the first time in over 2 months. And I'm kicking off the season by building the ultimate Santa sleigh. That's right, Santa. You think your sleigh is so cool? Well, I'm gonna make one that is better. But that's what I've got in store for next week's video. This is going to conclude this week's video, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching. See you all next week. India Alpha Bravo checking out.
Ignition sequence start. 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.